What the note had actually done was prove something simpler. The income was real. The capacity was real. He had earned $135,000 in 1 year and had $300 in personal savings, and the reason wasn't bad luck or a bad market or being too late. The reason was the absence of a system. And systems, unlike time, are learnable. He could not get his 20s back. He could not undo the years of later. But he could build the structure now, and the structure did not care what age he was when he finally got around to it. He called his mother that evening. She answered on the second ring the way she always did and asked how business was going, the same question she asked every time. He said good, and then stopped himself and told her the real thing instead, not the income figure, which she already knew roughly, the projection, the number on the note, what it meant, how it got there. Vera was quiet for longer than he expected. He could hear the kitchen behind her, a small sound, the stove maybe, or the radio low in the background. Then she said she was glad he hadn't waited until 40. Her voice was even, unhurried. But he heard something in it that he hadn't heard from her in a long time. Relief. He taped the note to the whiteboard that night, not in the center, not like a trophy, but in the corner, small, among the business goals and the sticky notes and the things he hadn't crossed off yet. He stood back and looked at it. The whiteboard had been there for a year. He'd filled it and erased it and filled it again with revenue targets and client deadlines and quarterly plans. The note didn't belong to any of those categories. It wasn't a goal. It was a reminder of what happens when a system runs without interference, when you build the structure, automate the behavior, and then get out of your own way. He'd spent years trying to feel like he'd arrived. Standing there looking at that corner of the whiteboard, he thought, this might be what it actually feels like. 30 days fully automated. The transfers landed on schedule. The SEP IRA, the Roth, the index fund allocation, without him logging in, without him deciding, without him finding a reason to delay it one more month. The emergency buffer sat in a separate account he didn't touch. He still checked his business revenue dashboard. He still watched the numbers. But the checking had changed texture. He wasn't looking for permission to be okay. The system was running. He described it to himself later as structured, not rich, not done, not arrived, just structured. And structured, he was starting to understand, was the closest thing to secure he'd ever felt, not the income, the architecture underneath it. Here's the thing about high income without a system. It doesn't protect you. Greed earned $135,000 and had $312 in personal savings, and that is not a spending problem. Or not only that, it is an architecture problem. The money moved through him instead of building beneath him. And the painful irony is that you can do this at $135,000 a year or at $45,000 a year. The mechanism is the same, the avoidance is the same, the I'll set it up properly next month is exactly the same. Income is raw material. It is not a plan. The people who retire with something real are not always the ones who earn the most. They are almost always the ones who built the system earliest, and then refused to dismantle it when things got uncomfortable. If any part of this story felt familiar, the income that looks right from the outside, the savings that don't match it, the plan you've been meaning to build, then you already know the hardest part isn't the math. The math is simple. What's hard is starting before you feel ready and trusting the structure to do the work you keep trying to do manually. The first lesson of Greed's Kingdom is free, and it's linked below. Not a course promising shortcuts, just a clear, plain look at how the compounding actually works, and what starting now, at whatever age you are, actually produces. It's waiting, no pressure, just the beginning of the math. He taped that folded note to his whiteboard and left it there. Would you have opened it early? Or waited?